Hey, what's up, y'all? What's going on? Welcome back. What's good? It's me, Eddie G, with another brand new episode of, you guessed it, Eddie G's Comic Culture. And representing as always on behalf of my good folks over at Black Apparel, www.blackapparelblk.com. The show is still sponsored by the great folks over there, so make sure you guys check out their website. They got some fresh ass gear that's been coming up. Um, they got some dopes. They got some dope kicks coming up right about now. My boy Kevin has been working on, so make sure you guys check them out whenever you get a chance. Also, special shout out to Nerdy Blurb TV as well as Channel 3 Productions. My good friend Dennis Knight. Make sure you check out his work from Pronto Comics, his cross comic line, and of course, last but not least, the big homie Vince Kardashian, who also has a fantastic channel on YouTube as well. So make sure you guys check it out. He's got some great content. He does a lot of walkthroughs and video games and stuff like that of that nature. He also has a fantastic Instagram page where he showcases quite a bit of his collection. He's also a comic book aficionado with great variant covers for you guys to take a look at. So make sure you guys check him out. And here we are. As I promised you guys, I'm going to have my, I wanted to showcase a new figure of mine, but I guess he's going to be a great. Well, he's not a new figure actually. I've had him for about 3 years. This is one of my takeaways from when I came back from up north in the holidays, and one of my favorite Hulk figures, if not my favorite Hulk figure of all time, my Diamond Select Hulk. I believe this is the Hulk Unleashed. It's not the Savage Hulk, if I'm not mistaken. The Savage Hulk is totally different. It looks more like the Golden Age era. But yeah, this guy right here is going to be my co-host for tonight. I was actually debating on wanting to do this episode tonight or not, but I finally caved in due to the things that's been going on as of recent. Well, let's start off with quite a few things. It's been a hell of a week since we last spoke. Let's see. Well, it turns out that we finally got some information as to what happened with Henry Cavill's conditions returning to playing Superman. If you guys haven't been following up on that, apparently he's been apparently during the contract negotiations. Of course, we all know that he was supposedly scheduled to make a cameo appearance in the Shazam film coming up in April, but that got scrapped, I guess, due to some certain, God knows what the hell, something happened behind the scenes. You never know what's going on with Warner Brothers behind the scenes. Well, any of these movie studios, anyways, until much later on down the line. But apparently, it wasn't just. Well, for one thing, let's start off. He wanted a pay raise, which is quite understandable. The man's been playing the character for quite some time now, since 2011, if you really want to take it back. Even though Man of Steel was released in 2013, they did start filming around that time in 2011, 2012. So, and we all know the story of BVS and Justice League, so on and so forth. So, apparently, obviously, he did want a pay raise, which was pretty understandable. And but there was a few things that kind of caught me off. Well, they caught me off guard. One was the script approval kind of deal, a producer credit, and he kind of wanted like something to do. He kind of wanted to say with the director, which I love Henry Cavill. I thought he was a pretty good Superman for what it was worth. I mean, granted, it wasn't it wasn't his fault. The material that he was handed was, basically, it pretty much, it was out of his hands as far as I was concerned. But for the most part, the requests that he was making were kind of ridiculous. I mean, honestly speaking, like, he's really not an established filmmaker like that at all, or an actor to begin with, to be having that kind of. So he really didn't have any established career as an actor like that to be making those kind of requests. Granted, I understand. He did have a bit of an issue with, what do you call it? Justice League was kind of a torment for him, considering what was going on. I mean, I never understood exactly the real reason as to why Paramount never allowed him to shave the mustache to begin with, but he did endure a hell of a lot of he endured some torment in regards to his appearance, and it kind of, it really did put a damper on the movie. It put a damper on the movie, to say the least, as it was released in cinemas. But granted, I understand the frustration as to where he was coming from, and it does make a lot of sense. But at the end of the day, he's not an established actor yet in Hollywood for him to be making those kind of demands, especially as far as a producer credit, or even remotely close to being like, having a say as far as the director's concerned. That's usually head studios that, the studio heads that do that. So I believe that was kind of a negotiation bargaining tactic. Some people are agreeing with that. You start off high and then you end up, you go low. But that was just a little bit of way out of the ballpark. So with that being said, it's kind of it's been pretty much confirmed at this point that they're really not moving any forward with a Superman film at this time. And they, of course, they want to toss that. I think that's what all the Supergirl nonsense has happened, and it's pretty much been kind of crazy because it's bullshit because nobody asked for a Supergirl movie in the first place to begin with. I guess that was kind of a way to snub him. But honestly speaking, I don't think that I'm pretty much concerned. I pretty much think that at this point we've pretty much come to a close with Henry Cavill's run as Superman, and it sucks. But at the end of the day, they gotta move forward. I understand that a lot of mistakes were made throughout the process of the building of this DC universe on film. But shit, man, I mean, you really can't go that hard, as far as, you can't, that's a reach and a half. And, I'm looking at the camera right about now, guys. I'm sorry, but I just noticed I have a stain on my shirt. But anyway, it really was a hell of a reach for him to be making those requests. So with that being said, I think it's pretty much set in stone that we're probably not going to be seeing Henry Cavill return into the role of the Man of Steel at all in the near future, if not ever. So it sucks, but I bid adieu to that. And also, it seems as though finally it looks like the loose ends of the Snyderverse is coming to a close now. Apparently, the Joker and Harley Quinn movie has been shelved. Basically, Jared Leto has already begun production on the Morbius film, The Living Vampire. So, with that being said, I don't think he's pretty much interested in returning to the role of the Clown Prince of Crime. And even though a lot of people are saying that he was terrible, I kind of get it. But again, I don't know, man. I really couldn't. I couldn't tell you because the movie only showcased about 5 minutes of him as a Joker, and even though some of those 5 minutes were kind of cringeworthy and dreadful, I think that if he was given the elbow room needed, he could have probably done a great job in owning the role. So that kind of sucks. But with that being said, I think we're probably with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker film coming out later this year, it's probably going to shift the focus away from that. And who knows, considering the way it might go, if it blows up the way it's supposed to blow up and it just overshadows it, because I think Joaquin Phoenix is a fantastic actor. I don't want to get my hopes up as opposed to what I did with Jared Leto, because I was excited for Jared Leto's take on the Joker, but this is actual Joaquin. Joaquin has like an entire film to himself playing this character, so we're gonna get to see some great stuff coming out of him, and I love the fact that it's gonna happen. It's coming out sometime in October this year, so that's gonna be pretty awesome. I expect to be wowed by it, as well as the cinematography needs to look fantastic. I want it to look I want Gotham City to look like a rundown hellhole the way it's supposed to. It hasn't really been able to capture that essence since the Michael Keaton films, which was kind of which is a downfall for me. Even with Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, Gotham didn't really feel like Gotham. It looked exactly like Chicago to me, which is borderline garbage. It's not the 70s anymore. I mean, they could have had some perfect set pieces to go ahead and design it, but they didn't. So you could pretty much tell that it was Chicago. Like Superman in Superman the movie, we all knew that Metropolis was New York City. There was no hiding that. But special effects at the time was a bit, what was given at that time, they made work and they made do. So with that being said, who knows? This Joaquin Phoenix Joker film may just overshadow Jared Leto. Maybe they might just go ahead and take it, go further with it. Maybe they might just make him the face of the crown. Maybe he may be phased into the DC Films universe, into the future, into the future projects. Considering, depending on how, depending on the splash this movie makes. But with that being said, yes, the Joker and Harley film is actually shut down, and which it makes a lot of sense. I mean, Birds of Prey is already filming anyways. It's already production has started, so it really wouldn't make any sense to have that going on anyways. But with that being, a lot of it, a lot of the stuff that's been cracking recently, a lot of the, a lot of changes have been going on. I mean, it's kind of, I think it's awkward that we're getting all of this stuff from DC now, considering that Aquaman's coming out in Blu-ray in March, and shortly after that, Shazam is released in theaters as well. So it's pretty exciting because I am interested in seeing what's going to happen after this. After the Snyderverse completely failed and crashed and burned, we want to know where the hell they're going to go with this. And obviously, Warner Brothers have no choice but to go forward with it, even and reboot their own universe. Even though they may say, they're going to negate and deny all the time that that's not happening, that's not the case. We all know it's bullshit because it's going to go on anyway. You know what I'm saying? That there's just no way about it. Even I know I haven't seen Aquaman yet, but I do know of the Steppenwolf reference in the film from Justice League. So I am interested in seeing that, and when I do finally get my hands on a copy of it, I will let you guys know with a great review detailed as well. But another thing, what's that? I'm trying to get into it because, like I said, this was just a spur of the moment episode for me to film. It looks like, well, let's start off with, let's go into Netflix. Netflix apparently has now finally, confirmed the cancellation of both Jessica Jones and The Punisher. Both Kristen Ritter and John Bernthal have made Instagram posts bidding farewell to their characters, and I'm a little upset at the fact that John Bernthal really didn't get a chance to really own the role. Well, a lot of, as opposed to the other actors like Charlie Cox and Kristen Ritter, and even Luke Cage as well. But the fact that they canceled these shows the way they did is just kind of like, it sucks because they were good in their own right. I mean, they didn't, the build-up was a little slow in some of these series, but they were done so well that by the time, they were done so well that it was worth it. It was really worth it all, And so the fact that they were cut with they had such a short lifespan was really, it's really disheartening. Even though Hulu did say that they were open to the option of actually reviving the shows, we all know damn well that that's not on the horizon. It's not, it's not even, we know for a fact that's just, that's pretty much just a tease, and a tease that's really not worth having the note for, because it's not gonna happen, man. I mean, Disney's looking for a Marvel streaming service themselves. They're really gonna start their own, as well as the do the same way DC's been doing, and they want to have ownership of their own characters again. I understand that, I really do. I just wish they would have allowed them a little bit more time to actually flesh out a vision for them, and even then, if that was the case, they could actually make an easier transition. If they're really going to do that, if they're really going to take the shows that they canceled off Netflix and just make, put them on their own streaming service, if they would have given the shows a little bit more time, it would have been a lot easier for the transition for the fans to go from one streaming service to the next. But they didn't. And, I mean, we're not surprised considering the acquisitions that Disney's been making as of recent within the last 2 years of all these studios. So it's it's kind of a bite in the ass, to say the least. However, I thank all of the actors involved for that. They were great series, they were great shows. I love them. They were great characters. It sucks not seeing John Bernthal anymore. Because he was really one of the main draws for me. Like, if there was anything that was perfect casting, I think it was him for Punisher. Aside from, Charlie Cox was great as Daredevil, don't get me wrong. But John Bernthal as the Punisher was just, it was chez magnifique. So, to see that go down the toilet, it really sucks ass. But, moving forward, we do have to take, they'll still have the shows on Netflix for us to enjoy, which is fantastic. It's great, but damn, what a way to say goodbye. And speaking of goodbyes, Ben Affleck has finally, officially gone throughout media. He was recently on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Apparently, he was discussing the issues with the Batman, and as to what had happened, and the issues where he says that he couldn't just crack it. Like, he had trouble cracking it. Personally, I think it was just the studio executives that were breathing down his neck to churn out a Batman movie as quickly as possible. And you know what? I kind of applaud Ben for standing his ground for not doing that. And the same goes with Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves took his time. He didn't pull shit or bullshit. He created a long ass script. I think the script is supposedly reportedly over 160 pages long for the Batman trilogy that he's going to be working on. And with that being said, he's not going to cater to pressure or anything of that nature. So now the hunt is on as to what's been going on with who's going to take Ben's place. Apparently, there's been rumors going around circulating about Robert Pattinson, which I think is a pretty good idea. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if they got to do something. If they're intending to start filming in November, like I would suggest they start doing something now as far as getting a cast ready, because how the hell are they going to bulk up within that time? We're almost touching in March already. There were some rumors going on that Armie Hammer was actually in final talks, but that got debunked immediately. So, to be quite honest, I wasn't too crazy about that idea either. Even though he was already cast as Batman in Justice League Mortal and George Miller directed pick, but the one that never came to fruition due to the writers strike in 2007 2008. But I think his time is coming, his past as well. So if we're gonna go with someone, I'd rather go with someone younger. And if Robert Pattinson is the one, then he's the one. And he's got a movie. I know he has a movie that's been critically acclaimed with his performance for quite a few years ago. I don't remember what the hell the name of it was, but I know he's out there. I forgot that. I know he's got really good acting chops right about now. So that's pretty exciting. Also, Bill and Ted's finally coming back. They're going to start shooting. They start filming this spring, which is going to be awesome. So if you guys are fans of the '80s film, the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I don't have my phone with me right now, but I know that there's a subtitle. They already have they already have the subtitle for the film as well. So that's going to be pretty. I forgot what it was, but I think it's called Bill and Ted Face the Music or something like that. I'm not too sure. I could be wrong, but how. It's looking pretty fun. I love the fact that Keanu Reeves is returning, as well as the other actor whose name I can't remember at the moment. So I'm so sorry for being so unprepared for this episode, not having my information on that deck. But I was just this close to like calling it a night, and then I just fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and film anyways because I just want to talk to you guys. But with that being said, it's gonna be a hell of a year watching these events unfold as the months come along. Especially with the genre that's happening as of recent. Also, what else? There was something else I wanted to talk about. Jesus Christ, I can't even think of. Oh my God! You see what happens when you take a last minute decision and you decide to go ahead and say fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. Ben Affleck. We already spoke about Ben Affleck. That's right. The Shazam action figures are looking pretty good. Supposedly they're like hinting that they see, this is why I don't go into action figures are not really spoilers, despite what you may think. There's just a long cast of characters, and the Shazam family, the Marvel family, is pretty deep as far as that's concerned. But I highly doubt we're going to be seeing them in Shazam, especially in the first film. As far as its origin story is concerned, that's not. I don't really see that clicking as of just yet. Maybe if if there's a sequel down the line, then yeah. But a lot of people are going skeptical about that whole thing about as to what's going on with the Marvel family. Why is there action figures all over the place from? But like I said, that's the cast of characters that Shazam has. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this one up because it's getting a little late for me and I gotta call it a night pretty soon. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments or anything you want to discuss, if you agree with me or anything of that nature, you already know what's the deal. Hit the comment section. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Make sure you guys are having a great week. Happy Monday. Happy President's Day. Have a safe one. Peace and love. I'll see you guys next time around. Take care.